Alrighty, so the final first round matchup of the CONCACAF Champions Cup is in the books, and as you expected, it was not close. Although I will say that at least it was not as ugly as the 9-0 thrashing that we saw Cincinnati put on OMM. Though early on, it definitely looked like that was going to be the case, especially when the Union were 3-0 up after 12 minutes. I thought, oh boy, this might be another 9-0 and maybe even a 10-0 thrashing by the end of tonight as well. And by the way, this game was also on FS1, and I actually didn't realize that it was on FS1 until about 3 minutes into the game. So I actually missed the first 3 minutes of this game, and also you had Stu Holtman and John Strong was commentating this game, and both those guys kind of really wasn't talking about this game for about 90% of it. And I don't blame them for weren't really focused too much on this game and was talking about something else because yeah, it was just kind of that kind of game. I kind of almost at times checked out in terms of this game as well as I knew this was going to be ugly as well. I was just wondering how many goals the Union would be scoring by the end of tonight and what kind of aggregate score is going to be as well. Now, in the first half, Bailey was in on goal there, but his attempt. Well, actually, he didn't even get an attempt off of this one. It was poked away at the vital moment, and that was really it for Defense Force when it comes to their attack. They basically had zero attack in this game. But I also thought that this Union 2 Light Squad, they definitely were feeling a little bit of that nervous energy. Keep in mind, this is pretty much. I would have just said this is probably Philadelphia Union 2 versus Defense Force because most of these guys that play in this game were pretty much backup players coming into this one. And it makes sense because, after what happened in the first leg where it was just so dominant by the Union over Defense Force, there was really no need for them to play the starters in this one. But that being said, in the 7th minute, Martinez would score his first goal for the Union, and it actually took a Fortuna's deflection too. I mean, this is when things are going right for the Union in this game when a Fortuna deflection falls right into Martinez. He basically buried that one to give the Union a 1-0 lead, and then just 2 minutes later, a penalty was given to the Union after Refinello was brought down by Noel in the box. So here comes Lukic, a chance to bury it. Keep in mind, they mentioned this is only his second penalty kick that he's taken in his career, and actually his first as a Union player. And they mentioned he actually missed his first PK take way back in his youth career, and I can kind of see why he's not a penalty kick taker. And while he did put this one away in the 10th minute to make it 2-0, yeah, this is one that the defense force goalkeeper Isaiah Williams, he probably should have done much better in terms of it. I mean, he actually got a lot into it, but just couldn't keep it out. I almost feel like he overdived this one because it was not a great penalty there from Lukic, and I wouldn't be surprised Bradley Carnell probably won't be putting him on penalty kick duties in the future, even if he put that one in, because again, not 9 out of 10 time a goalkeeper would save it. If this was an MLS goalkeeper, or even just below as an MLS caliber goalkeeper, that probably would have been saved as well. But because this is a Caribbean team, I guess he gets the benefit of the doubt. And just like that, it was 2-0 in favor of the Union. I already wrote, are we in for another 9-0? Because the luck for Defense Force is clearly not there. It just kind of feels like it was Murphy's Law for Defense Force throughout this game. And in the 12th minute, Brzezinski would score his or scored the third goal for the Union, and I believe this is the second goal that he scored in his Union career. He scored one of them against the Defense Force back in the first leg, but he scored here from Sullivan to make it 3-0 in favor of the Union. And like I said, up to this point, I thought 9-0 looked like could be a reality again in this one. Though to Defense Force credit, they did kind of tighten things up a little bit. Williams with denied Alador as the whistle was already gone for a foul. There was a huge shout for a penalty for Defense Force, but instead, St. Helier, of course, gets a yellow for diving here. Honestly, I know that it was pretty clear that he embellished there, but I at that point I kind of almost feel bad the fact that they didn't get a penalty. Defense Force. I mean, this was just way out of hand. I feel like maybe the referee at least will show a little bit mercy, and even if St. Helier did kind of clearly embellish it, give the penalty to Defense Force and at least give them something at least be happy about in this two-legged affair. Lukic would then hits it right to Williams before he would deny Kurzetsky from close in the 43rd minute. The Union were looking for a fourth goal before halftime, but we do head to halftime with the Union leading 3-0. And they waste no time to make it 4-0 as Kurzetsky would score his second goal of the game from Alador to make it 4-0. And then 5-0 comes relatively quickly because just 5 minutes later, Ben Bender, a name that I haven't mentioned a lot. I mean, it's been an interesting career for Ben Bender. Remember him being the number one pick for Charlotte FC, and even though he had a great inaugural season, injuries has really kind of ruined his bright potential that he has. Now he's with the Union. Hasn't really got too much playing time, but definitely got a chance here. And yeah, he took advantage of it, scoring here from Kevin Sullivan to make it 5-0 in favor of the Union. And it's also the first goal that he have scored for the Union as well. And it's been taking 2 years to do as well. That's how much that he's been trying to get himself back to where he was in his first season with Charlotte, where in that first season with Charlotte he was just so promising, and we said this many times before, where injury can really change and derail a career of a player even when they're relatively young. And I hate to say that, it feels like it's kind of the same with Bender after he suffered that devastating injury near the end of the first season for Charlotte. But the shots were 14-0 for the Union up to the hour mark, and it looked like St. Helier finally got the first shot for a defense force, as he puts it wide. Problem was, the flag went up. So, yeah, obviously that's offside. It doesn't count as a shot, as defense force would pretty much be stuck at zero shot. And a little spoiler alert, they would also finish this game with zero shot. I think this is the first time we've seen an MLS opponent able to hold their opposition in the CONCACAF Champions Cup to no shot whatsoever. Sullivan would then look to make it six, but he missed wide there. You can clearly see that Kevin Sullivan, he really wants his goal. Yakovic also making his debut in this one. He puts it high from close in the 69th minute. Don't be surprised if some of these youngsters for the Union might finally get their first goal. That will a little foreshadow though, because after Bender had a shot that was deflected and goes right to Williams in the 76th minute, it finally happened. Kevin Sullivan has finally scored his first career goal for the Philadelphia Union. It's been something that Union fans been waiting for a very long time to happen. I'm pretty sure for everybody that watching this one was hoping that it would finally happen, and it happened in the 76th minute. So he scored from Alador to make it 6-0 in favor of the Union, and he got so excited that of finally scoring his first career MLS goal that he decided to score another one. Well, I say first career MLS goal, but that's technically not true. He hasn't really scored in MLS, but certainly first career goal for him in the 76th minute. And like I said, he got so excited of that, he scored again just 12 minutes later, as this time he scored from Olives to make it 7-0 for the Union, 12-0 overall in the aggregate score. They did do a brief check to make sure if Kevin Sullivan was on onside position. I almost said Quint Sullivan for a second there, but yeah, they were making sure that he was onside. He was, and yeah, just like that, it was 7-0 in favor of the Union, and that will be the final score of this game. And while it was definitely not as lopsided as what we saw in the Cincinnati versus O&M match, it is pretty clear that when it comes to MLS team when they face against Caribbean opposition, yeah, it's not close whatsoever. And maybe that's good news for Galaxy fans, because they're about to kind of face another Caribbean team in Mount Pleasant, and a Jamaican team. But if there's one thing I will say is that these two Caribbean teams that we've seen with MLS opponents that face. I mean, these are two that aren't really considered to be good team. I'm pretty sure Mount Pleasant is a little bit better coming from the Jamaican League, but that could be interesting to see, especially against a Galaxy side that has really struggled to score goals to begin the season. Shots in this one, 18 shots committed, none that defense force has. So, like I said, this is probably the first time I've seen an MLS team able to held their CONCACAF opponent not only shut out on the score sheet, but also shut out on the stats chart as well. 9 shots on goal committed, none that defense force had. No shots that was off target committed, 5 that the Union has. 4 shots that was blocked committed, none that defense force had. And possession-wise, 66% possession compared to 34% possession the defense force has in this game. And I'm gonna kind of reiterate what I said about Cincinnati yesterday when after this win. I mean, as good as this win, of course is, I'm pretty sure Union fans would kind of wish that they saved some of these goals for the next round or even back in MLS play as well. Because just like how Cincinnati has a very tough matchup in the next round against the Liga MX's opponent known as Tigres, the Union also have another tough task. They're basically facing the Giant in the CONCACAF region, and really the in Mexico in Club America. Though Club America hasn't really got off to a great start to their season so far, so maybe the Union might have a chance in this one. I mean, obviously the road for the Philadelphia Union to make it to the final is going to be incredibly tough because even if they beat Club America, they have to face either Nashville or Inter Miami. Yeah, those are not two teams that are not easy to face, especially Nashville, since Nashville seems like it has Philly number, at least from last season, beating them 3 times last season, including in the semifinal of the Open Cup. But yeah, there's no doubt that this is a step in the right direction, at least for the Union of going through to the next round of the CONCACAF Champions Cup, and now they're just hoping that this will reflect itself maybe back in league play or maybe in the near future as well. Probably not because of the way that again, this is a game that they made up mostly player from the second team and they're facing against a weaker opponent. When they do face again the stronger opponent, I'm pretty sure it's not going to be like a walkover like what we saw tonight against the Fans Force. And again, I'll say the same thing about what I said yesterday with Cincinnati when they pretty much did a walkover over OMN FC as well. But there you have it. That is pretty much it when it comes to looking at the last game of the CONCACAF Champions Cup first round matchup. The round of 16 matchup will be happening around the middle of March. I'm not sure if they released the schedule yet for those games, but I'm very interesting to see when exactly is going to happen. Whatever happens is that I do know that it is going to be difficult for me to watch in the second leg because as I probably already said this before, and if you don't know this already, a low spoiler alert. I'm actually going to be going to one of these CONCACAF Champions Cup game in March as well. I won't tell you exactly which one it is just yet, but you probably would know it. Especially I'm going to be on the road and probably be doing review of these CONCACAF Champions Cup game from the hotel, just like I always do sometimes when I'm on the road for a bit. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys hit a like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.